Welcome to Car Talk, where we talk everything about car. Today, let us talk about this, the JAECOO J7 PHEV. And if you have already watched our previous episode regarding to the J7 1.6 liter turbo all-wheel drive variant, let me tell you what, actually pay 10,000 more compared to that version might seem worth it. Not because of the fuel economy, but because this thing is actually marginally better to be driven in. In case you do not know what JAECOO is about, in our previous episode of review regarding to the J7 all-wheel drive variant, we have actually explained what JAECOO is and also along the exterior designer of this vehicle. So in this episode, since we are reviewing a different variant of the same vehicle, we will not spend too much time on explaining that again. If you are interested, feel free to click the link here or here or here. I don't know, depends by the editor where you put it. Let's talk about the exterior of J7 PHEV and compare it to the petrol variant. So as you can see from the exterior, at the first glance, it's not much difference. First thing first, you will get this PHEV emblem, and then you will get this low air resistance wheel with a flat cover. I assume it's for you to have better aerodynamic purposes. Then next, you will have a different design side mirror. Other than that, you also get a different garnish here and a few different color options. Other than that, in terms of exterior, it stays almost the same as all the other J7 petrol engine variant. Moving on to the interior, it also get a different door trim for the front door, whereby if you compare it to the petrol variant does have came with a bulky handle piece here for the both front and rear door. But for the PHEV variant, you get a more cleaner design. Other than that, it does have a different center console. If you have watched our previous episode regarding to the things that I do not like about J7, mainly because of the fit and finishes or the manufacturing quality of the plastics, and I'm glad to report that in this variant, seems like all of those issues has been resolved. The door panel now, it's better in fit and finish, with better touching points here and there. And not to mention that all the weird noises came from the rubbing leathers whatnot has been resolved. So coupled with the silent drivetrain of EV mode, this car is actually surprisingly better to drive compared to the petrol variant. So we have talked about things that I feel like this variant is better than the petrol variant. But now it's time for the bad news, or should I say the matter of habit. Given this is a PHEV, it actually makes you confused about how you should use this car. For example, this car, number one point that I do not like about it is it does not have a start button. So it makes you confused if the car is turned on or not. So most of the time when you go near the car, your logic is the car is just unlocked without started. But what I understand about this car is the moment the door unlocked, it already started. So you just need to go into the car, turn the gear lever into D, fasten the seatbelt, and off you go. So it's quite counterintuitive, it's quite uncomfortable for me. But again, you might argue that it's just a matter of habit. So underneath this low air resistance wheel cap is wrapped with 23550R19 tires. JAECOO officially equipped with Come Home X-Star tire. So this set of tires is actually rather nice. The front suspension, no surprise, is McPherson strut, and rear suspension, no surprise, it's multi-link. But the weight of this variant compared to the J7 petrol is about 100 kg of difference, mainly because of the battery it carries underneath the undercarriage. And for some reason, I feel like this car does have better ride and handling and suspension tuning compared to the petrol variant. Let's talk about the practical aspects of this vehicle. Contrary to all the other PHEV or hybrid vehicle in the market, most of the time, if there is a battery system installed in the car, it will consume the boot space. But because this is a dedicated platform whereby they have considered a PHEV or a pure EV variant from the beginning, the battery actually takes up space underneath this at the undercarriage. So contrary to what we understand, this car, the PHEV variant, has more boot space compared to the petrol variant. And the main reason is because this variant does not come with a spare tire. So it actually replaced the undercarriage with polystyrene and some V2L cables. So yeah, it's about 50 or 40 liters of difference in terms of boot space. PHEV does have more boot space because it does not have a spare tire compared to the petrol variant. What's so special about this PHEV variant? For the normal petrol variant, it only comes with a simple tonneau cover, nothing much. And if you have seen our previous review, I have demonstrated you on how they designed the parcel cover to be easily attachable and detachable. But for this variant, this tonneau cover, it actually serves as a projector screen. Yes, JAECOO actually give you this projector screen for free, or should I say it came with the car. What they do not give you is the projector, and you might ask, how do I power the projector? Or do I need to buy a projector with power bank function? Fret not, because this car also came with a V2L. You can power your stuff when you're camping. This is an EV. Sometimes it's an EV. So you must be wondering how much power does this V2L can support. The official figure is the V2L can support up to 3.3 kilowatt hour of electrical output. So technically speaking, you can power 3 so-called 1 horsepower aircon. 1, 2, 3, that's theory. In practical, if you would like to power some high power output item, for example, electric kettle or convection cooker, shouldn't be an issue. Then here comes the interesting part. This car does came with a battery size of 18.3 kilowatt hour BYD Blade battery. So suffice to say, it does carry a battery that are almost half of a BYD Dolphin standard. At the moment, BYD Dolphin standard is about 40 kilowatt hour of battery. So this does have 18.3. Plus minus, give or take, it's about half a BYD. So if you can do the math, this V2L at its maximum output is 3.3 kilowatt. The battery capacity of this car is about 18.3 kilowatt hour. So 18 divided by 3, you can run full output for 3 to 4 hours without any issue. So if you plan to purchase this car for your camping and there's some equipment that you would like to power using this car, for a night or two, there shouldn't be any issue. So here comes the second thing I do not like about the vehicle, apart from the confusing start logic. For the EV socket, no matter it's a V2L or the charging pad, all you need to do to open the flap is just, and it will open. But for there, this is the petrol filler cap. You can't do it. You have to get to the driver's side. So it's, yeah, for me it's very annoying. Why can't you just do once that can open and close? See? Yeah, just annoying. Yeah. So all the confusing points doesn't stop here. And when you're in the cabin, the first thing you will notice is it does not come with a start button. So because as I've mentioned earlier, if you have this car, you get close to the car unlocks and the car will automatically start. In a way, in a sense, you do not know what the car is doing right now. Is it start? Is the engine engaged? Is it ready to go? There will be a very false sense of security. There's no trust to the car from the beginning. All you need to do is you need to get used with the car new logic. And then there is no handbrake release. So if you have driven all the other car with electronic parking brake, there should be an electric parking brake release button. But for this car, there's nowhere to be found because JAECOO has decided that this is a safety feature whereby if you have fastened your seat belt, then only the car is willing to release the handbrake automatically after you engage to drive. There is no other way for you to drive the car without fastening the seatbelt, also I know. So whenever you want to move the car, you have to fasten your seatbelt, or else the front wheel will keep dragging the rear wheel because the handbrake is all the time engaged. Up next, what do I find most annoying about this car is the side mirror adjustment. The petrol variant of this car, and it does came with the side mirror adjustment physical button here, but this car does not came with it. So if you are first time to this car, you wanted to adjust the side mirror, it can be very confusing. Where we will demonstrate, we have two very young members of our team and they have no experience on adjusting or getting used of new cars nowadays. So we will just do a very quick check on how they're able to find and navigate the side mirror adjustment. So you will know how pain in the ass to adjust side mirror is. So as you can see from the camera, Our intern here, she is 21 or 22, just get a license not long ago. She does not know anything about cars at all, and you can tell that by her going through all the menu just because I asked her to adjust the side mirror. Imagine you want to buy this car for your parents, for your grandfather, for your grandmother who are 50 or 60, who might be not literate enough to deal with all those electrical gizmos. This girl here who grew up with iPhone and she can't even adjust the side mirror. So not so nice, isn't it? So you have just know about all the downside, all the annoying part, in my opinion, for this J7 PHEV. But nonetheless, when it comes to the mechanical package and when it comes to the hybrid drivetrain of this vehicle, it managed to break my stereotype regarding to Chinese vehicle. All you know, because this particular drivetrain is very impressive when it comes to the power consumption and the power efficiency. When I have introduced the V2L function earlier on, I have let you know that this car does came with a BYD supplied blade battery, about 18 kilowatt hour of them, and in this engine bay here, it does came with a 1.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder engine which runs on Miller cycle. Miller cycle is 4-stroke combustion cycle that are slightly more efficient compared to the Atkinson cycle that has been used in all the other hybrid vehicles. Then combine the engine with the electrical motor. One engine, one motor, one gearbox. It does have a combined output of 347 horsepower and 525 Newton meter of torque. There's a catch on those numbers. I feel like JAECOO is over marketing them, but nonetheless, this power output or this power combination is able to achieve easily 5 liter per 100 kilometer. When I say easily, it's in the condition whereby, number one, I did not go easy on my foot. Number two, I did not charge the car as a PHEV. I just use it as a typical hybrid. In this scenario, where I stress test the car, it can still achieve 5 liter per 100 km. Let's not forget that this is a 1,700 kg 5-seater full C-segment SUV that can achieve 5 liter per 100 km. I am not going easy on my foot. Whenever I exit the toll gate, I floor my throttle. Okay, I go all the way up to 130 and 150 km per hour, and it still can return this fuel consumption figure. It's very, very, very impressive. And other than that, let's talk about numbers for the engine and for the electric motor. For the engine, it does provide 141 horsepower and 215 Newton meter of torque. For the electric motor, it does provide 205 horsepower and 310 Newton meter of torque. Chery, when they sell this car, usually provide the numbers in combined output. But according to my understanding on this set of hybrid system, it does have a very bizarre way of logic. In low speed scenario, below 40 km per hour, it will run on pure EV mode regardless. If the battery is low, the engine will hum in the background and charge the battery. When the car is running on 70 to 90 km per hour, the engine and the electric motor will work parallelly. For high speed scenario, for example, in hybrid cruises at 110 km per hour and above, this car will become a sole ICE engine because engines are much more efficient in high speed environment. Is it confusing for you? I hope not, because it's also quite confusing for me. But nevertheless, it does not hamper the fact that this car, behind all the sophisticated logic, is actually very good to drive. And if you ask me, I will prefer this over the 1.6 turbo petrol engine variant. All this while, I forgot to mention one very important fact. This car is actually a front-wheel drive car. As opposed to the all-wheel drive variant, this set of powertrain, 300 horsepower plus 500 Newton meter of torque plus, all of the power sent through the front wheel. There will be times where when you exit the toll gate, you will notice some power slide on the front wheel. So yeah, this car is quite torquey and powerful. So as you can see, this car does came with comfort entry and comfort exit. So of course, as same with all the other JAECOO and Chery, it is adjustable. I have just tells you all the painstaking part when dealing with this car, mainly because of the software and the logic that they designed this car behind. So usually I will begin my test in this session by the startup test, where you can hear how harsh the engine rev is when it start up and what is the feeling when the car starting up. But for this car, I cannot do that because there's no start button for me to do it. But I believe it's enough about all the bad news, and here comes the good news, which is the driving experience. Let's not forget that this car is equipped with a 1.5 litre turbo engine and a 200 horsepower plus electric motor. So how does it feel like to drive? First thing first, if you have ever driven any PHEV, you will notice that most PHEV or HEV, when the electric depleted, the car will feel like it lost its ohm, because at the time engine need to charge back the battery and the engine also need to propel the car. It will also cause worse fuel consumption. So regarding the twin engine back then, there's a lot of feedback from the consumer saying that when you are able to utilize a PHEV by PH, which is plug-in, you charge it at home, then you can fully utilize the benefit of PHEV. But if we are not able to do so, the fuel consumption of a PHEV is actually worse than the pure petrol variant. In Volvo case, it will be the T5. In BMW case, it will be a 330i. It's more fuel efficient than a 330e if you did not charge it in. But in this case, in this JAECOO, none of that problem exists. I do not know what kind of magic or what kind of nuclear power that JAECOO introduced to this car, because I did not use this car as a PHEV. I stress test the car, and at the moment, if you can hear it from the background, it's a very soft whining noise from the engine. It's charging, but the car still have the same fuel consumption and the cars still have the same performance. At the moment, as you can see from the gauge, we only have 5 km of remaining EV range left. All in all, it's still able to perform as is. Okay, enough about the figures. All you need to know is, worst case scenario, this car will achieve 5 litre per 100 km easily. In best case scenario, it can achieve 3 litre per 100 km. Or in some cases where you as a consumer that have electric charging point at home, and because it's a PHEV, you do not really need a DC charger or high voltage AC power, you just need the 3-pin socket to charge the car in, to charge that 18 kilowatt battery. If you are able to charge an 18 kilowatt battery, theoretically speaking, it can return you up to 100 kilometer or 80 kilometer of pure EV range. So if you can utilize that, technically speaking, the car fuel consumption is 0 litre per 100 km. Okay, that's just theory. Granted, you can charge the electric, so let's go for a drive. So why I say this car is actually very good to drive compared to the petrol variant, it's a better car to buy even for the driving experience itself, because let's face it, JAECOO might not be very good on tuning and calibrating their gearbox, their engine output, whatnot, but in this particular drivetrain, none of that shortcoming matters anymore, because in low speed, for example, right now from 0 all the way to 40 km per hour, at the moment it's running on pure EV mode. So in slow speed start-stop traffic scenario, it will be running on pure electricity only, no petrol involved, unless you need to charge back the battery. Because it's an EV from the beginning, there's no gear change, you don't need to wait for the turbo to spools up whatnot, and you just drive very smoothly. Now we are exiting highway, and you can see that we don't have much electric power left, only 7. I purposely did it to showcase you the worst scenario when you are using this car. Let's do a quick acceleration test to see if the battery is out of juice, did the performance have any compromise, and no. So you can see that the car just goes all along rather effortlessly. So yeah, my understanding on PHEV or any hybrid vehicle is, if the battery is low on juice, then the engine need to work harder, hence the performance will be hampered. But in this car, no. It still works as it is. So I do not know what kind of magic that JAECOO do to this car, but yeah, it's actually quite interesting in many ways. Your battery is low on juice, but the performance is not compromised at all. And not to mention that there is a very weird feeling whereby when you accelerate, you can hear the turbo whistle. Okay, the turbo spools up. Can you hear the whistle noise of the background? Can you hear that? And you can see how fast the speedometer goes up. So that actually helped to provide a little bit of driving sensation to this car. Previously, when we are driving EV, we will get numb because of no driving sensation. But for this car, it does have some. I don't know what to say. It's kind of weird. And I'm not sure, is it because JAECOO has provided a different set of suspension tuning onto this car, or because it does have a battery underneath so that this car has a lower center of gravity, or maybe because this car is heavier, 100 kg compared to the petrol variant, so the suspension is more sink in. This car does ride quite supple and quite stable on the highway. Ride and handling, you can't expect much, but it's marginally better compared to the petrol variant. So you can see that we are currently at 110 km per hour, and I need to just put my foot down and the car just goes very effortlessly. The official figure for this car, 0 to 100 take about 8.5 seconds. Regardless of full juice or no juice on the battery, it will still achieve 5 litres per 100 km easily. Because this car does not have gearbox or all the noises here is gone, so you can enjoy quite a silent MBH cruising experience on the highway with a little bit hint of turbo and intake spooling noise. All in all, it's very enjoyable to drive. I hate to say it, but it is the fact. The only other hybrid vehicle from China manufacturer especially that able to provide me the similar experience is the Powwow H6 HEV, but that is not a PHEV. This is a PHEV. When it's a PHEV, it does come with a lot of perks and benefit of EV. For example, you're able to use the V2L when you go to camping. You can enjoy pure EV range if you are able to charge it at home. So when you send your kids to school, when you go for work, as long as the car does not go into the high-speed environment, more than 110 km/h, you can use your car as a pure EV. So you are technically getting all the best technological achievement on 21st century. All in all, people will always argue that hybrid is pointless because you need to maintain two sets of systems. I have provided the intention to let you know more about running costs of this vehicle. So here is the maintenance fee schedule shared by JAECOO official, so you can pause and have a look. Regarding to the battery cost, I do not know. JAECOO did not share anything about it, but as you know, the battery is supplied by BYD. That does provide an 8 years warranty. If the battery health is less than 70%, it's 1-to-1 exchange. So maybe that could help you to reduce the worry a bit. And now we're at corner. I'm not sure why, but this car, when it comes to the cornering or whatnot, it does handle way better compared to the petrol variant. I'm not saying that it's fast in corner, but at least it does feel stable in the corner. The steering is still quite numb in feeling, but at least the whole car feel more stable on the drive. It's not jumping around all the places, nor if it's wobbly. So yeah, I hate to say it, but I do feel like this car is very near to perfection. You can see it actually hugs corner quite well. This is a 1.7 ton SUV. Let me remind you all, running on come-on tires. So you can see the tires start squealing. So yeah, if you are the kind of person who wanted to buy a hybrid because you wanted to save more money on fuel, I don't think it's a justifiable reason, because this car is not a cheap car. But if you are the kind of person who prefer to enjoy driving and you enjoy power, you enjoy efficiency, this car is a way better choice compared to the petrol J7 variant. So if you enjoy driving this car, regardless of the fuel efficiency, just choose this one, okay? Of course, you need to bear the risk of the resale value and the battery replacement cost. JAECOO official have generated a calculator for you to let you know how much you can save if you have your own wall box at home when you purchase this car. So you feel free to try the calculator and know how much you can save, theoretically speaking, if you purchase this car. For me, it's not always about the money, because maybe the depreciation will offset all the advantage. But if you are in for the driving experience, for the 500-ish Nm of torque, okay, all you need to pay for this kind of performance is less than 160,000. The worst it can get is 5 litres per 100 km. By all means, go for it. I don't think you even need a wall box, just my opinion. There are some that say it's no point, that you are not able to maximize the advantage of PHEV. But for me, I don't think it's actually that necessary, because without it, I can achieve already impressive fuel consumption, and the power is not compromised at all. It's actually quite defying the law of thermodynamics in my understanding, because this car consumes less fuel than my current car, when the car is in idling. So what the heck? So there's one thing that I would like to share with you regarding to the driving experience of this car. There's one key factor that you need to take into consideration when you are test driving this car. 1,000,001 different settings, which might be very annoying and weird for you. So I'm just sharing to you what I feel is the best way to enjoy this car. So you need to go to the vehicle setting, and one thing that you need to make sure is the brake pitch control. You need to turn it off, because for me, this brake pitch control is actually making me feel sick, and I'm kind of annoyed by it because of the braking feel. What is brake pitch control is they wanted to ensure the car, when you brake, it does not dip. But when you are doing it, the car will try to modulate the brake force itself. So if you are the kind of driver who talk to the car quite often, you prefer consistent force on your brake pedal, you will feel that the car is having its own mind. So when you are driving the car, you are braking the car, sometimes the braking force is high and low, the servo feedback is not accurate, then you will feel a bit wobbly and you get sick. So for me, I personally prefer to turn off the brake pitch control. Other than that is the braking feel. I would prefer to go for mid instead of sport, because sport is too grabby. You tap on the brake pedal a little bit, then the brake just clamp the car and the car just go deep down like that. So yeah, go for mid will be better, it will be more comfortable. So this is something that I would personally suggest you to switch off brake pitch control and the braking feel turn to mild before you go for a test drive on the J7 PHEV. Trust me, you will feel a difference. And regarding to the steering force, it's up to you, because this steering itself is not that much of a feedback from the beginning. So mid or sport is still very strong assistance, so you can see that pinky finger can turn the steering. Even mid is even worse. So yeah, it's all up to you on that. So as a conclusion, if you wanted to enjoy JAECOO J7 in its best form, I would strongly suggest you go for a test drive in the PHEV, and I'm quite sure you will find it very big difference compared to the petrol variant. Okay, you will feel the powertrain is much more refined, the NVH is better, you need to pay less fuel. Car does have the best of both worlds in terms of petrol and also in terms of EV, but it also came with a price. For example, all those annoying and a little bit too high-tech features, and also the depreciation value of a PHEV as opposed to the stereotype of market perception. Last but not least is the battery and the drivetrain replacement cost when the times come. For how much you really need to pay? Does the money you save on petrol able to offset the money you need to maintain or replace the battery, replace the powertrain on the time to come? This, I cannot provide you a definitive answer. Only time will tell on this. Okay. If you like what we are doing, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our channel. Thank you and see you on the next one.